Hi, hello, and good evening. This is Strat Chat, and we are celebrating our very first eviction night of the summer. So much to get into. I've got a lot of notes from last night. I always think that the veto episode is a little bit throwaway because we kind of do what we do on Monday nights. However, these supersized episodes, that's a lot of content, lots to review, and not a lot of time to do it in. So, what are we doing tonight? We're reviewing last night. We're talking about Zay's exit right out the front door. Bye, baby. Honestly, I'm lamenting it because that man was fine as hell. But we'll talk about we're going to talk about that, and we'll definitely get into another, Strat Chat staple. We're doing Julie Judgment. That is back. For those of you who might be new here, Julie Judgment is where we judge Julie's fit for the evening, and you get to get involved. Have some votes coming in. You can scan the QR code featuring Miss Julie's face, so you can get your vote in. It's really just 2 clicks. So get involved. Get involved. If you're on YouTube and you're voting via the comments, you can do so by using some hashtags. Hashtag hot, hashtag not. Or you felt that it landed in the middle, you can toss her a tepid. But we got lots to do and not a lot of time to get it done in. So let's get into this sucker. All right, I am Kyle Petty-Basal, and I'm joined, as always, by my festy besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgino. And, of course, this is Strat Chat, arguably your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. I'm very, very happy to report that Team Petty did not take a hit this week. This was all on Team Dunphy. All right, lost Zay on tonight, and a vote of, what was it, 8 to something? I don't know. That's
9
way
to
down.
5. 9 to
5.
9 to 5. Even worse than I said. Even worse. Yeah, because they acted like Lauren's vote didn't matter. It's supposed to be a democracy.
Yeah. I like that now doing X's over the faces instead of blacking them out.
I would have blacked it out, but I don't have access to the things that you made. You didn't share it with me. So this is the best that we can do in the limited time that we had. So we use the X because we don't have time to be catching up with anybody else. But before we get to Zay's exit, there's a lot to discuss. Yeah. So last night's veto episode, again, I usually see this as a throwaway episode because we kind of do what we do days, right? We're kind of reviewing some of those, veto results, especially if you're one of those feeders that kind of stick with us to the spoilers. But we're going to get granular tonight. I really wanted to revisit the Showergate situation with our girl Ashley, because which is hard to do with what she played with what she did with the veto picking portion of this episode. Leaving that alone, I wonder why to give this girl credit, because I was thinking, what if she had the bubble guts? And what if her stomach was just churning left and right, and maybe she didn't want to take a doo-doos in the public bathroom, and maybe she wanted to do it in Vince's room because she felt some kinship with this man, and thought if she left the water running, that would now mask the fact that she's tooting.
Oh my God, Kyle!
So I thought that maybe we should show her a little bit of compassion, but then I was,
so much compassion saying bubble gum, tooting.
Well, listen, you should know a lot about that compassion after your experience with Los Munchies.
Not Los Munchies.
In real life.
You're supposed to be my brother.
Hey. This is real life, though. This is real life. That's why Ashley deserves that. That's why she deserves some compassion. Because what would you do?
I don't know. You actually know me. You don't know Ashley.
I don't know her, but I feel like if my stomach is churning, that person needs a little bit of love. That's what this country needs right now.
We don't know that.
We don't know that, but we were chastising this woman, and we were saying that, oh my gosh, just throw her up on the cross. The hell with her. How dare she be in the shower for 2 hours? But maybe she wasn't. So I thought that deserved a little bit of a shout out. But then I was scrolling the interwebs, and I saw that Sharon Tharp had a conversation with Julie Chen. I'm sorry, girl, I didn't watch it. Work has been a little bit crazy, but I did find this little caption here from Big Brother Live. Thank you to them. I'm saying, per Sharon's interview, Julie confirms that Ashley only spent 30 minutes showering on night one. She spent the rest of that 90 minutes slash 2 hours getting FaceTime with Vince. This adds a lot of context around why she was so emotional at the top of this episode. She's like, I can't trust her, I can't trust her. And I was like,
Yeah,
all right.
I feel like this needs to be verified. I feel like, what is this account that you shared this from?
From Big Brother Live, but it was supposed to be from Sharon Tharp's conversation with Julie.
I also heard this confirmed on Taryn's live feed updates a couple days ago too. So.
All right, so we're hearing it from multiple
production
places.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about what Taryn said then.
I mean, pretty much the same thing. On conversations that he was hearing throughout the house, it sounded like she was only in there for like 15, 20 minutes. And then most of it was like conversation with Vince as opposed to a shower that lasted for 2 hours.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I also had another note here, like, because Vince was really pressed about the fact that Ashley wasn't trusting him, and so like, I don't know why you don't trust me. I don't know why you don't trust me, and I feel like that's a little bit early to say that in week one when there's been nothing to test this trust, right? You've got to give me a little bit something to make me feel like I'm secure, and it's like maybe that's where those comments came from as well, because he felt that they shared a kinship. Through the conversations that allegedly that they had in this 90 minutes to 2 hours or so. So,
because we were even saying, I think it was Rebecca, and like made a comment of like, I don't know why nobody is concerned that it wasn't just a shower. And now to hear that like they know it wasn't just a shower, it's like, well, why were we harping on the shower and not the private game conversations? That's what I'd be more pressed about. Like, what the hell were you talking about for 2 hours?
Well, exactly. What was happening?
Yeah, this whole thing is weird too because in the episodes this week, also, right? Was it the last night's episode, Wednesday's episode, where Catherine was like, they were waiting for the veto meeting to start, and everyone was like, "Oh, Ashley's still in the shower." So it's like another episode now, where production at least is making it look like the whole cast is being like, "What's the deal with Ashley's showers?" So it's like it's odd to be getting like the first episode like that where Ashley is showering for apparently 2 hours and everyone's getting annoyed, but now Julie is saying no, it wasn't actually that long of a shower. They were actually mostly game talking, and now after that we get another episode where it's like, oh, Ashley's showering again, and it's like, all right, what are we supposed to? Because as an audience, I feel like I want to know more than what the house guests know. So, like, can you stop confusing us? Because, like, we are supposed to know what's actually going on. And it feels like we know the least.
Yeah, and that's what makes it hard to try to defend Ashley here because she was even late to that. And it's like, come on, like, I want to get past this showering crap. But like, it makes me even more disappointed in her. If it's true that you weren't showering that entire time, you were having this conversation with Vince, then like, wouldn't you do everything in your power to make sure that you were not caught showering for an extended period of time any other time following that? Like to have everybody sitting here and they're like, oh, I'm just so sorry. And it's like, this is just playing into what everybody already thinks.
To be fair though, if production already doing shenanigans, how much of that was editing versus she was maybe 2 minutes later than everybody? Like, like everybody was like, sitting on the couch and she was like, oh, sorry, like I literally just got out of the shower, I'm getting dressed, I'll be right down.
Yeah. Plus also in Ashley's defense, because like I feel like, okay, there's never been a time that Ashley was in the shower where like the house made an announcement. We need all the house guests. Like even in the first shower, she was just in HOH's room taking her time, but not as much time as we're led to believe. And then even in this one, it's not like there was like an announcement. Like Julie was like, I need all the house guests in the living room now. It was just Vince coming out of the diary room being like, it's time to pick the veto players or whatever. It's not like there was as far as we've been shown, there wasn't like an announcement over the loudspeaker in the house being like, get out of the shower, get out of wherever you are, come here right now.
Right. Ever do that though?
Well, I think when Julie, I think when
so I don't know.
I think when Julie makes announcements, it's probably played over like a speaker. It's like, all right, I need everybody in the living room right now. But I feel like if like the HOH comes out of the diary room and it's just like, all right, it's time to pick players for this. I don't necessarily think
know, though.
everybody is hearing.
You know, we hear, you know, over the God mic or whatever, that they'll tell people like, oh, stop singing. Oh, all house guests. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Big Brother was like, all guests report to the living room. And then they do a couple of takes of the HOH being like, okay, it's time to pick players for the veto competition. But like, they're already gathered.
Right. No, that definitely does happen because you can see them all huddled into one room. Like you always see everybody either in like one bedroom or like in the have-not room, and it's like, okay, time to pick players, or in the backyard
if
something.
if someone's in the backyard and someone's in the HOH and someone's over here and someone just like comes out and yells, not everyone's gonna hear it. Like Big Brother.
No, I feel like they kind of huddle everyone together so that you can have that moment. Please come inside, and then like they kind of do it. So it's like, how did this happen?
In the shower when that announcement. Right. If she's in the shower when that announcement happens, she needs to take a second to get dressed and come back down. So everyone could have just gathered in the living room. She's like, I'll be down in literally 2 seconds.
No, that's true. 'Cause I feel like we've seen people like run out of the bathroom before, like wrapped in a towel.
Yes. And it's like, I feel like maybe she wasn't tuned into this, and maybe it is production shenanigans, but we're going to keep an eye on this. Ashley showering situation. So there's that. What else do we have? This Kelley and Vince thing, and Kelley just keep volunteering to be on the block. I think we kind of touched on that before, and she's crazy. She's crazy. It worked out for her tonight, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see, because again, you end up having that curse over you of being one of those people that were on the block already. So you feel like a really safe selection for me to continue doing so. So we'll see how this works.
Once you volunteer, people know that you're okay with it, so they're like, oh well, like she was cool being
you don't
give
two figs,
cool being
right?
Again.
Not only has she volunteered, but I also didn't realize how many people she had rubbed the wrong way. Like we got a little bit of insight into some of the weird comments she makes to people randomly. So, yeah.
I don't remember this. What did Kelley say? That
it was at the top of this episode, I believe. That all of that.
What was it? Nobody remembers.
I was going to say, do you remember? I don't remember specifically.
I'd have to. Yeah, I would have to like go back to like look at specific quotes. But they were like, there was a whole segment of her going up to people, saying something, and then when she walked away, they were like, "What the fuck was that?"
Okay, I have no notes on that. Maybe I was walking around. So Zach and Lauren, I don't know what to make of that. Maybe the beginnings of something there. It looks like Zach is certainly more interested than Lauren is. Also, doesn't really strike me as very surprising. You know, men think with their magic stick, and some ladies do not. To which she said, absolutely no, showman says. But she said right now. It didn't sound like she wouldn't be down for that later. It looked like she might be down
in her interviews, in her like preseason package and whatever, I remember her saying like, yeah, you know, I'm not opposed to a showmance or whatever, but like I would be in a showmance that I can use to get me farther. So her like she's not.
Was this Lauren?
Package, yeah.
I remember that, but I also remember Lauren being like, "If I meet the love of my life in there, I'm not gonna stop it." Like,
well, yeah, but anyone's gonna say that, you know, like you never.
I don't know if anybody would say that.
But my point is, she had opened it up by saying, "Yeah, you know, like I'm not totally closed off to a showmance. I would want to use one to dance my like. I'm not just going in there to like look for love."
I don't really remember her saying that. I remember it more just being like, if I find the love of my life.
No, I specifically made a note of it when I was watching her preseason stuff.
Well, I kind of land in the middle. I think she's down the clown if it's correct, but I think she definitely wants to at least make jury. So I think Lauren she's gonna keep him at bay, and I think that's probably a little bit better because like you can end up not being tied to him and still get the benefits of having the relationship with him and the security that comes from it. So, you know, good on you, Lauren. I did enjoy Rachel kind of egging on the Riley Catherine showmance, except that when John sent us those tweets in the group chat about some of the other things that Riley was saying about Catherine that apparently were on the feeds and did not make the episode, it was like, oh, suddenly this isn't so cute. What are our thoughts on Riley and Catherine? And like, do we stan?
Riley kind of icks me out. I'm sorry. I don't feel good about him.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
I think it's gross. I think it's
Yeah,
gross.
Riley's on my team, and I've had enough of him. Same with
Oh
Zay.
no, Cowboy Riley. Sorry, ain't got nothing on Carter.
Yeah, this
Um,
this cast in general is not really endearing me a
Yeah,
whole
they
lot
are.
in this first
This
week.
cast is fucking cracked. Like
It's
they
only
are.
week one. It's only week one, but I'm
It
not
doesn't
oh my
feeling
matter.
gosh, no, I'm
great.
loving these people. I think there's only just like two or three that I'm not vibing with, but that's exactly what I would expect in a group of 17. Otherwise, like I think we're in for a really fun summer.
I don't know.
I
The
think
people
these
I
There's a
like, I
bunch.
really
awesome
like. I'll
people.
say.
Yeah, these are
There's a
awesome people.
there's a bunch I'm not vibing with, honestly.
When we get to the point that we can review our teams, we'll certainly dive a little bit more into that. Turned off a little bit with Vince saying how he didn't really like how Amy and Ashley were responding to being put on the block. Felt that they were acting a little bit more emotional than they should be, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like you nominated them, like what are you
Yeah, like
talking
what do
about?
you expect?
Yeah, like he really sucks. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They're crying. And it's like, well, of course they're crying. It's week one. They don't want to look like clowns. Like, what are you talking about? Um, and then him kind of going on this board, talking to all these different people, trying to validate the decision that he made. It's like, well, I didn't really have a choice. Nah, actually, you did. You're the only one with any power. So, like,
Yeah,
I don't
you
really want
had
to hear that.
actually
Yeah,
a lot of choices.
you actually had many choices, the most choices that anyone else will have.
Yeah, the most choices that will ever be had on the season. You had.
Right, right. Yeah, Vince sucks. Um, so there's that. You know, obviously said that
And
Ashley was.
honestly, like I didn't mean to. I just feel like some of his own fault, right? Because Vince was the one who made, like, he was part of that pact of being like, oh, all the people that are chosen to like play for this HOH, yeah, we won't nominate them. Like he was actively taking targets away from himself. It's like, oh yeah, so now these three people, I just said I won't nominate any of them. Plus, I can't nominate any of the have-nots. Plus, I can't do this. Plus, I can't do that. It's like I'm allies with Kelley, even though she said I could nominate her. And it's like, all right, well, you're like, there's still a limited number of people in here. Like it's week one,
Mhm.
you have a bunch of options, but just by agreeing to that whole like, all right, we're not going to nominate anybody that played in the HOH with us. You just took three more targets off the board right there when you know you have already four in the have-nots that you can't nominate. So that's seven. So now we're talking about almost half the house. It's like this is partially your fault.
Sure it is. Sure it is. Yeah, he's a disaster.
The first HOH is always so messy because they get to it. They think, oh, who the hell I am. Everybody thinks that if they're the first HOH, now they have like the most power anyone will ever have. And they're like, well, this season is mine. It's me. I'm the first person in power, and I'll always be in power. And it gets to their head, and they make stupid moves, and they make stupid alliances, and they make stupid promises, and then they end up looking like an idiot. This happens every season.
Yeah, I will give it to that person though that's in that position because you really have absolutely nothing to go on, and like so you truly are just grasping at straws and you're trying to see like what is everybody else saying to kind of get a pulse on the house, so you're not like ruffling too many feathers. Like I just think that being the first HOH is a horrible, horrible position to be in, and I think
Right.
it's a real challenge to navigate that no matter what. So I mean that's the most credit I feel like I can give Vince.
Well,
But
and that's why you would never see me winning the first HOH.
no, no, I know I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to.
I would throw that
Um,
competition so fast.
yeah, yeah.
I actually I
What?
did some statistics on this.
Okay.
Well, because so during the first episode, everybody was saying how they didn't want to win the first HOH, and Josh Martinez, winner of BB19, tweeted out, "I will never understand why people don't want to win the first HOH."
I would
And
never win the first HOH.
well, so I this made me curious about it though, because we've had 27th regular season of Big Brother. We also had Over the Top, and we had three celebrity seasons. So take the celebrity seasons out, take reindeer games out of it. We've had like 27 seasons that we can actually compare this to. And in five of those, the first person that won the HOH won the game, which comes out to about 20% of the time. Which I feel like over 27 seasons or so, if the first person that wins the HOH wins the game, 20% of the time, that's not really that bad. But I also feel like you have to take into account that like the game of Big Brother has just changed over time, and I think that now, so like BB3, I mean, was the first time that someone won the first HOH and then won the game. And then since then, there's only been like a couple of times in the last like 10, 15 years. And I feel like that just shows that the game has evolved, where it's like now it's like you need to sort of sink into the nose more before you get blood on your hands.
I just feel, yeah, you piss too many people off, and then you become the easiest person to take shots at because you are the person that made the first move. No matter who it is that you're making the move against.
There's so many variables too, because it's so hard to look at like statistics like that, because it's also like that's week one, and like there are just so many variables and things that change throughout the season. How can you really definitively say like it's good or bad? Because that happened so long ago. Did Chelsea win
It's also
the first one?
no, Chelsea did not.
Oh no, because she was downgraded, right? Wasn't she like that
Yeah.
computer chip or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because BB12 and BB13, both seasons that Rachel were in, the person that was first HOH won the season. Hayden in season 12 and Rachel in season 13. But that's all between 3 and 13. We had the 3 people that won the first HOH, won the season. Since then, it's only been Nicole Franzo and Cody in All Stars. That's it.
Well, it'll be interesting to kind of watch how this one plays out. What I think will also be interesting to watch is this relationship between Jimmy and Rachel, because Jimmy seems to definitely think that he's smarter than Rachel, and I feel like Rachel is already onto him, and it's like, I think you're full of crap, sir. And it's like Jimmy, his behavior, like for you to be this cocky this soon when you have absolutely no power whatsoever, like you don't actually have any agency in this game whatsoever, and like
Jimmy's
this man,
embarrassing me.
it's
He's embarrassing
horrible
me.
to watch. It's horrible.
I could
Jimmy-
not
Great for
believe,
you,
like,
Gina. Where was Jimmy?
my number one choice. I was like, Jimmy, how are you gonna do this to me? My number one choice.
Meanwhile, Jimmy is honestly like, Jimmy right now is the player that I expected Adrian would have been like in this game.
I
Yes.
just like,
Yes,
I am
you agree with that completely. Yep.
somebody that like calls himself a super fan. I know this game inside and out. I'm a strategist by job. Like, you know, like it's like the blah blah blah. Like came in with like all these high expectations, and he goes up to Rachel Riley, and he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna blow up the veto meeting. Do you think that would be bad for my game?" As if Rachel Riley would be like, "Oh, you really shouldn't do that." No, of course she's gonna be like, "Go for it. Sounds great to
Right,
me."
because he thinks
Yeah,
he's so
more
much
to ya.
smarter than her. It's like,
Why
what
would
are
she give you an honest answer?
doing?
Rachel
Yeah.
Riley of all people is gonna be like, "Oh, actually, like that might not be great for your game." No, she's gonna be like, "Go nuts."
When she was like, when she literally said like, "Oh, wow, Jimmy, that was better than I could have even done." I was like, yeah, because Rachel never would have done that.
Because it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Oh, he's just horrible.
I'm so mad at him.
I am appreciating Rachel's approach here of trying to say, like, hey, listen, take me to final 2, right? No one's going to let me win a second time. I'm the one to take. I think it might be a little early to kind of plant that seed, right? Because, like, people kind of think better of that. You know, you would not be the first person to win Big Brother twice. Maybe not in America, but we have seen that
I was
elsewhere.
gonna say she would here.
Here, we did see that in Australia. So she's not going to have the title she thinks she's going to have. I'm the first ever, only in this country, not on the globe, baby girl. But you know, what do you think of that? Like, do you really think that's actually going to work for Rachel? Is that a good approach? Might be the best.
Again, this is where I get nervous because this is exactly what we saw in BB19. So, like, depending on how knowledgeable the cast is of past seasons and how knowledgeable they are of like what's gonna go down. I don't know. I don't want her to just
Do you
take the
think it's
final
fair to
two.
actually even reference BB19 when you're talking about Rachel? Like, I think that Rachel is a much more likable person than Paul.
It's not even just that. It's just like that's the last time that we saw a vet come into a cast of newbies and pitch, "Take me to final two. You'll never lose."
Mm.
Which, like, granted, in that case, that is what happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I also think that happened really because Paul did play a good game. It's just
He
that
played a
people
great
felt
game.
so burned by him at the end of it that it was like, anyone but you, I'm just going to vote for. Like, I'm
Right,
sorry, I
right.
will go to
I
the
do
grave
worry
saying
though
that
that
Josh
like
didn't really deserve that win. Like,
I do worry though that like then if people are familiar with that, then they are going to say, "Oh well, like yeah, that's true. They'll never let the vet win." Like, yeah, dude, look what happened to Paul. It's fine. We can just
But
take her to the end. People will be pissed at her. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to happen.
I think Rachel can change that. Because Paul, like, his argument might have been like, "Take me to final two because nobody wants me to win. So take me to final two. Everybody will vote for you." But he also like actively pissed a lot of people off. Like, if Rachel's argument can be, "Take me to final two because nobody will vote for me," but she's able to do that in a way where like she continues to survive without constantly pissing people off and taking them out, she won't have that same ill will. Especially because like
mm-hmm.
Paul also he almost won the season. Like it wasn't like that crazy of a vote, right? Wasn't it 5-4?
He lost by one vote. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 5-4. So like even with Paul pissing all those people off, he still almost won. And like if
Mm-hmm.
Rachel can just survive through the season with that same argument of like just take me to final two, but she doesn't piss off people the same way that Paul pissed off people in his cast, I don't see why she couldn't win, especially knowing that Paul only lost by vote at the end of that.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I kind of think
I
I
just want her
think
to have to work
she's
for
in a
it.
better position than Paul just right out of the gate, just because she's a little bit more likable.
I just want her to have to work for it. I don't want to see them just like take her for
And
the sake of
I
taking
think, but I think
think she will.
I think we're already seeing her work for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that tonight the whole house knew that Amy was like her number one ally, and Amy stayed over Zay, who, believe me, Zay was on my team, and I feel like he sucks. But the fact that Rachel Riley's number one ally stayed over Zay on this night makes me feel like she's already doing things better than Paul was. Because Paul didn't have to be this involved. Like, didn't Paul get like multiple weeks of safety? I feel like
I think it was the first 3 weeks of safety he had.
right. Like Paul didn't have to do anything yet. Rachel might have been safe this week, but she's already had to come in and like build an alliance, and she is on that can help make that alliance survive, even though she's fucking Rachel Riley. Like,
All right, so that's excellent. Speaking of Rachel, she did kind of find herself in a different alliance, even if she is not 100% like married to it. As Morgan calls them, they are the heavy hitters. You're looking at Jimmy and Zach, who they consider them to be like the core two, surrounded by Morgan, Vince, and Rachel, with Riley on the side. They don't seem to be too married to Riley being in this at the core five, and then the two of them. So that'll be interesting to watch because I do think that Jimmy's sun is already setting. Um, sorry to Gina. So that's it. We already did Ashley in the shower for the veto. Veto was played by Zay, Ashley, Amy, Rachel, Vince, and Zach. I was a little turned off to Zach referring to Zay as his brother. You just got here. I did like this conversation between Ashley and Zach, however. They had a conversation. Ashley said, listen, I already know that you're not going to keep me safe if you win this. I know you're not going to use it on me. So my pitch to you is, can you just not win? And here are the benefits to you. If you don't win, people don't see you as a threat, and you also don't have to make a decision as to who you are taking off the block, if anyone. I thought that was a smart pitch. That was the best you can do in week one. What do we think of Ashley in this moment? Yay, nay?
I mean, yeah, like what more really can you say? Like I feel like
yeah, it's hard to say right now because like I don't think her pitch was necessarily bad, but it also didn't matter at the end of the day. She won veto. So like Well, we
Is it
still
that
have
maybe Zach was kind of stepping back? Do you think that maybe she had some influence on that? Or do you think that just Zach just shit the
I
bed?
don't think, based on what we saw, I don't think that we can tell because like the editing for this comp was all over the place. So there's no
Right,
like,
he said he
I
didn't
hated
want
this
to.
comp.
He
yeah,
said
there's
he like didn't want to play, didn't want to win, didn't want to whatever. But like, you can't really tell.
Tell.
yeah,
Yeah, you
like you
can't
can't
tell.
actually tell by the editing. So it's like, all right,
Right.
are her words as persuasive as we think they might be, or is it just that like she won the comp, so it didn't really matter?
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. She does win, and she was in the purple booth. I wanted to note that. Okay, when she won, she was in the purple Ranger station. Okay,
We do
so
love purple in this house.
yes, we do. We do love that winning in purple. Um, Vince didn't know what to do. Obviously, now we back to this whole Kelley thing. Um, you keep saying that you want to go to final two with Kelley, but if that was actually true, you wouldn't even really be considering putting her up. Like you're still saying that this person could be disposable to my game. So like,
Yeah, I feel like he was too like he was using the fact that she volunteered as an out because he was like, "Oh, now I don't have to piss anybody else off." And it's like, yeah, but are you
right,
really going to risk this early on in the game losing the only person you feel is a number to you?
It's
right,
way too
right.
early. It's way too
Yes,
early to be doing
and
shit
I'm
like
You have
sorry.
this.
nothing lined up with
Yep,
anybody else yet.
exactly. And if you're doing this early, Kelley, please start to pick up on the fact that like that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
nervous for her because she's putting trust in people that will put her game in danger. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
a proper person playing this game with you wouldn't want to see you go.
right. And I
Not
get
week one.
right. I get the idea of wanting Jimmy and Keanu to keep going at each other, but there's got to be at least one other person in that house. When there's still 17 people in there, there's got to be at least one other person other than one of your number one allies in Kelley that you could put up. I get it. You're the first HOH. You don't want to put 4 people up and get all this blood on your hands. But like, is it okay? Is it worth pissing off one other person that wasn't really working with you anyway to make
Mm,
sure that your ally in Kelley is not going to go home no matter what?
right.
Also, that's the game. That is
Yeah.
the game you signed up to play. You have to put people on the block. If you win HOH, that's the game. What do you mean? I don't want to. You have to. That's the game.
Right. That's literally what you signed up for.
The
Yeah,
game
and
that
if and
you
yeah,
know so well because
Yeah.
you've been delivering to the CBS lot all these
yeah,
years.
and
That's
you
what
know
you have
what?
to do.
And you know what? If this was such a big deal to you, and you really couldn't figure out who the fuck to put up, you shouldn't have won this competition. Sorry.
Don't disagree. Don't disagree. I think Vince is terrible. The only person that I think is worse than Vince is Jimmy. Um,
Don't send my
and like
team. Maybe.
he's really bad. He's really bad. Like he
Yeah,
was
he's
making
not
that
good at
comment, like, "Oh,
this.
I know that Vince is going to do whatever I want, so like I'm killing it, America." And it's like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When he
no,
was
you're
like,
not.
this is still my HOH by proxy because Vince will just
Oh,
do whatever I want." And
oh,
it's like
I
you've been in
hate
there for like
it.
3 days, and like
it's
you are so cringy.
horrible. It's just so horrible.
Ugh.
I can't stand it. And there was another comment that he had made. Let's see, Jimmy says I'm killing America. I wrote, ugh, awful. And there was something else that he said, because Vince at least did pick up on the fact that Jimmy thinks that he was running the house and this was his thing. So like, at least there's that. But like,
Hmm.
there was some other comment that Jimmy made that I said, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Jimmy said that he was considering having Vince not put Keanu up until he heard what he heard from Ava. So Ava, I'm finding very, very interesting. I don't like the infighting on Team Kyle. However, Ava's obviously been a little bit miffed that everywhere she goes, she finds Keanu. But once Keanu kind of caught wind that Jimmy was kind of trying to make some moves to get Keanu out of here, he shared that information with Ava, who then said, "Thanks, man. I'm going to go bring this to Jimmy and we'll have a conversation about that. That way y'all can just keep fighting and no one's looking at me," which I thought was smart. I thought that was
I'm
very
liking
smart.
Ava. I'm
Yeah,
really liking
I
Ava.
like her too. Yeah, I don't want you to don't come after people that are on our team. I want to send her like a message by like or
You
something.
all
Or
belong to
just drop a
me.
note. Exactly. Hey, we're all on the same side. Can we at least just get to final 5? And y'all can do whatever you want to do. Like, let's just get to the end, honey. Let's just get there. But I thought that was interesting, and that's when Jimmy made that now comment about like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm saying that not Jimmy. Jimmy is now saying that I will not have Vince put Keanu up, and this is so cringy that you think that you can make all these
Yeah,
calls.
what do you think you're gonna do about it?
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a part of me. There's a part of me because I actually really do like Ava also, and I
Hmm.
feel like I think it was smart the way she used this because Keanu came to her, said something about Jimmy, and then she went directly to Jimmy, and like I feel like it's smart trying to make them play off each other, but I also feel like you got to be a little bit more careful. Like somebody comes to you saying that this person said this, and then you go right to that person. Like I almost
Hmm.
feel like
It could be
she
traced
should have
back to her
gone
real
to.
quick.
I almost feel like she should have
Yeah.
gone to Vince and been like, "Listen, I don't know what you're hearing, but like Keanu came to me and said this about Jimmy." And then like Vince would have been like, "Oh, well, Jimmy said this about Keanu to me." Like I feel like you have to put a buffer in there a little bit. And it's like if
Right,
somebody comes
right.
to you with information about another person, you can't just go to that person and be like, "This
Yeah.
person," because you're going to be the only link. But if you
Yeah.
go to Vince and say these two people that are going at each other, this person said this to me and this person said that to me, and now I'm putting you in the middle of it. It's like, all right, now my hands are clean, but I'm still letting that rivalry play out.
Oh.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't know what the right way to handle that is because you also, as the person receiving this information, you don't want to do anything that would keep this person from sharing things with you later. So, like, is week 1 even where you go to Vince and share anything?
Right.
Maybe you
Because it's
just
so
hold on
early.
to that. And yeah, hold
Mm.
on to that and just wait because, like, you might find him a little bit annoying because he keeps following you around, but he clearly trusts you.
Yeah.
If you're going to use
And
his
neither of
information
them.
in this way, then maybe you can use it a little bit better later, where it matters a little bit more, especially maybe even during a week where you're not safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Right. Because
literally.
right now, Vince is not on the block. Jimmy's not on the block. Keanu's not on the block. But you are sharing information about these people with the HOH. None of these
Mhm.
people, like if you're talking about somebody that's on the block right now and you want them to go home, use the information however you feel you need to. But like this could have kind of been put in your back pocket for next week.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
like she's kind of already played her hand already. Not played it in a bad way, but it's not like she can do anything else with it now.
Right. And she could have played it in a bad way depending on how these things come out, because if Jimmy starts to say that, hey, I heard this from Ava, now you do have a problem. And
Yeah.
I don't really think, from what we've seen anyway, you don't really have enough of a foundation with Jimmy to think that he wouldn't use your name when, especially if things got heated and things really got to that point. So I'm like, well, I heard it from Ava. Like, he has no
Yeah.
reason to protect you. So
Yeah.
we have to see how that one plays out. Especially since Jimmy seems to be so much about creating a grand show of things. We saw that once Ashley removed herself from the block, and then Vince put up Kelley, Jimmy had to say his piece and say something at the end of this, even though everybody was done, everybody was ready to walk away and go get some snacks. He had to make an announcement and say that he had a conversation with Keanu and thought they had a great chat, and said that he trusted them. He's like, oh, this snake has a bite. It was just like all too much. He threw his glasses for some reason. It was just so showy, and it's like,
He tried so hard to make a meal out of it, and it just ended up looking
mhm,
so like embarrassing. It's
yeah,
like, what? Why
yeah.
are you doing this? It's week 1. It's the
It
first
was
veto
really, really
ceremony.
painful, right? Yeah, nobody cares that much. I appreciate that you're trying to create great tea, but it still wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
It felt too performative.
Yeah, yeah. He said something about the glasses too before he threw it. Do you remember what he said? He said something like,
I
he said
don't.
something smart because you could tell that he thought he was so clever, like he
Oh,
was
he thought he
so
was
proud of himself.
eating
Mhm.
that.
It was something like everything about my outfit is real except for this or whatever. Like
Oh, that's
glasses
what it
that he
was.
threw that
And I
something
was
like
like,
that. Yeah,
oh
it's like
God, Just terrible. Terrible. I know that's Gina's friend and everything, but
Gina's friend.
that's Gina's friend. Like he didn't do anything for me. Not at all.
Yeah. Jimmy Morgino.
All right.
Morgino.
All right.
I'll take a quick moment here to remind anyone who is watching us that Julie Judgment is back, and we'll be circling back to it at the end of the eviction night recap. You can vote for whether or not you thought Julie's outfit was hot or not. Scan the QR code to let us know, or hop in the comments and use the hashtag hot, hashtag tepid, or hashtag not. Let us know what you thought of Julie's fit for the week. Or you can find us on Twitter at Strat Chat Pod, and you can find a little clickable link. I promise it's only 2 buttons. It's really, really quick. It's really quick. It's not going to take a lot out of your evening. So let us know what you thought about Julie's fit. But okay, so now eviction night chatter. Let's see. Rachel is fine with Jimmy having a target, gave him bad advice. Oh, that's what you get for thinking you're smarter. I don't know what that was about.
It was about him asking her if it was a good move, and she was like, "Yeah, I think."
Right. That's what that was. Yeah, I write these notes, and I just keep watching the episode. You're like, wait, what was I talking about here? Vince, this conversation with Keanu got you in danger, girl. What was that? I don't remember what that conversation was. That's a note for myself. Because he was more descriptive.
Keanu checked in to be like, "Did Jimmy say my name?" Because that was why I was having all those conversations. And Vince basically confirmed. He was like, "No, like yeah," and he was like, "No, but like specifically, what did he say?" And he was like, "Oh, well, he was saying like." Oh, who are you thinking of putting up? Like, like there's all these people, like Keanu is somebody. And he was like, all right, that's so different than him coming in and being like, you have to put up Keanu.
Right. Okay, we're back. Good. All right, well, thank you for the context around that.
Sure. I got you.
In this episode, we did also see the birth of a new alliance. I'm sure this happened earlier in the week, but I have not been watching the feed, so we do apologize. Zay had pitched a new alliance, the Burger Boys. And that was supposed to be Zay, Riley, Zach, Will, and Vince.
Womp womp.
Which I want to compare that to the vote. Because I don't think that's really how that went. So that's
Riley at the very least voted against him.
Yeah, Riley voted for him. Who else did? What did Zay's? Let me see. Well, obviously Zay didn't.
Zay was the buns, he said.
Will voted to evict Amy.
Yeah, all right. It's really only Riley that seems. Yeah, it's really only Riley that kind of did the wrong thing there. Yeah, you don't really have time to review all your little notes here after you write these things. I did enjoy the cameo from the Mastermind. I'm excited about the idea of seeing him, they, her.
Can you imagine getting up in the middle of the night for your midnight pee and you see that walking around the house?
No. Wake everybody up too. I'd wake everybody up. I saw the Mastermind. Like, if I can't sleep soundly, I'm gonna mess everybody up too.
I also just shit out of me. I am curious. Like, is the Mastermind? Do you think is the Mastermind still only a thing because Amy is still in there?
Oh, I don't think so. I thought the Mastermind was always going to be a thing. I mean, I guess that does make some sense. She was like the man's accomplice, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I still would have seen it anyway.
But like, is she so as the accomplice? Like, when the Mastermind comes in now, right? Because we're seeing this. Is Amy still aware of that?
Oh, I don't. Think so.
I assumed that was just a night one thing. I don't think she's still considered the accomplice.
I agree with that.
Does it still seem like an unfair thing though? Like an unfair, an advantage way almost that like she was aware of the Mastermind, came in as the accomplice. Everybody knows that there is an accomplice, but Amy knows that she's the only one that knows she's the accomplice. Like, does she have any insight to the Mastermind?
No,
like,
I think at this point they're all an even playing field.
I don't think anything was really unfair about that, except it was unfair against Amy. Like, why couldn't she just be a regular house guest? Like, why do we have to do this master accomplice crap? Like, I don't think
Yeah, I
of
think
her
at this
in any
point she's in the
way.
same level as everyone else.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is interesting to me because it's like Amy was the one that let Rachel into the house, and now Rachel is Amy's biggest ally. So like the whole thing is kind of interesting to me because it's like, I don't know, Rachel wouldn't be in there if it wasn't for Amy.
I did find it very interesting, not to like derail, but like kind of on the same thing of this, not to jump the gun. But in the exit interview, when like it was revealed that Amy was the accomplice, we heard, oh yeah, like I guess that makes sense because like, you know, they have the whole like mom thing and like Amy fits the archetype of what Rachel also is. So like, you know, if only one of them was going to be in the house, like it makes sense that like that was, and I was like, that is a crazy thing to say, first of all, but also like low key, if you're thinking like production wise, like yeah, they did just take one archetype and replace it with like the same person in.
Yeah. I'm wondering because Amy has this knowledge before anybody else, and I'm just wondering, like, as the accomplice, is Amy going to be involved in any more of these twists? Because
I don't think it matters
she
anymore.
knows because she's the only one that knows about the mastermind, though. So like, it's like,
Yeah, but not at this point. I do think that was just like whatever was happening pre Rachel, and now at this point she has no information.
maybe I don't know. We're just guessing. I still think though, because it's like,
Yeah, no, I think anything's possible, but like I didn't have that thought at all. Yeah, I don't think Amy really knows anything at this point. I
No.
think even just replacing one mom with one mom, I think it's really more that you just wanted a mom in there, and then if they both get to be in the house together, then great. Hopefully they'll work together. Like I didn't really
I
think
just thought it
anything
was
of it
fun. I was
past
like, I
that.
never would have clocked anything about that, but from a production stand, I can absolutely see them being like, well, the archetype that we need because there's always that one mom. So like,
Mhm.
this is the archetype that we have. So like, either it's gonna be Rachel or it's gonna be Amy. Maybe they're both in here, but like, if Amy leaves, we still need that person. It's like, I'm doing this for my
Right.
family.
That's as
You
far
know?
as I thought that thought process went. If we get
Yeah.
both, great. If we get one, good. That's all we
I just
want.
thought it was
Like
funny
you know.
that like he thought to say it, and it was like if anybody was like thinking from a production standpoint, they may have clocked it. You know?
Mm, mm.
I guess I think it's weird. I guess that I feel like do any of us feel like there was ever a chance that Amy might have been caught before Rachel was let in?
BB Twitter
Before she
caught
was
her.
in it? Yeah.
So
If you were looking at
that's
her in
their
the right
fault.
moment, you could
Well,
have seen her
but
peeling off.
they only caught her though during the first episode. Like I just feel like,
Well, that was the only time to catch her, wasn't it?
well, yeah,
Yeah, that
but
all happened night one.
but that's the audience though, not the kid. So I just feel like,
No, I know, but I mean, I feel like if you were thinking that way, which you obviously wouldn't, like it's not necessarily their fault, but it's like, again, people caught it just from watching it. So like, if you were thinking, oh, maybe I need to be paying attention to everyone, that should just be a precursor to like pay attention to more things later. Um, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. I think you're giving way too much credit to a production team that doesn't put that much effort into their concepts and competitions. You know, I think
Yeah,
you're
we're gonna
kind of
hear about the
forgetting that.
mastermind for 2 more weeks, and then we'll never hear about it
Exactly.
again.
I think you're confusing in the most respectful way possible. I think you're confusing Big Brother US with BB Can, and you
I'm
think that
not.
things are well thought out, and like, they're just not here. So like, I don't think anybody thought that far. Yeah, I
But
don't have that much
I
faith
just
in
think
them.
I just think it's interesting because it's like, all right, Amy was brought in there with the original cast, and was there a chance that Rachel could have been introduced into the cast because Rachel was technically the 16th member and Amy was the 17th, but was there any like logistical way of like bringing Rachel in without Amy and without people finding out who Amy was? You know what I mean? Like it's
I
just
mean, they could have just
like,
done it
was this
Cerise
cast?
style and just had her pouring champagne in there, and they come in from a comp. You know,
No, of course, but I mean,
yeah.
like if Rachel was always meant as the 17th house guest, or not the 17th, I guess the 16th, with a mystery 17th. Like, what was the guarantee that Rachel or the mystery house guest would have both been part of the cast? I don't know.
Well, because I think that Rachel was always coming in. It didn't really. I don't think they cared as much if Amy stayed. Like it didn't
Does that
matter what
mean?
happened.
But does that mean that none of A's like behind the scenes stuff mattered?
I mean, this happened in 19 too. The only reason that Paul was in the house was because they were like, someone needs to anonymously click a button and that person gets money. But if it happens, there will be a twist. And the twist was that Paul entered that game and that somebody else was like night one eviction. But I don't know. Like, I'm sure if that didn't happen, they would have found another way to work him in, you know?
Yeah.
All right. TV magic.
But what else? So, Zay and Rachel had a rough conversation on that couch saying that she would be careful coming for the queen. That's what she said. And then that really brought us to this Big Brother blockbuster, right? I don't know what the hell this was. There were these scrambled up words.
There was a similar one last year.
Yeah, Kelley selected something, and all of a sudden it was correct. I didn't know what any of the words were supposed to be.
I'm so glad you also... I tell you, they were like, okay, congratulations, Kelley. And I was like,
why?
What? And I opened my phone and I literally opened Blue Sky and was looking through the tags like, can somebody explain to me what I just watched? I have no idea what's happening.
I have no idea what that was.
I did not understand it.
It looked like she had a tiara/crown. The only word that I saw up there was with. And I'm sure it wasn't supposed to be with. I'm sure it wasn't.
It was.
Oh, it was? Okay.
What the unscrambled thing was steel crown with emeralds. So she took the crown that had the emeralds in it, put it on her head, and then she was correct. I got with. That's it. I had no idea what the hell I was looking at. Yeah, I also didn't understand. I didn't understand why she won.
Red herring. I felt like they're showing me this because they want to throw me off because it's a word scramble. So they're showing you with, and they're showing you all these other letters and things.
I don't know if I just wasn't paying enough attention to the rules of the competition. I literally was like, why did she have the winner? She didn't say what the scrambled thing meant.
Right. I was like, whatever. I'm not questioning it because Kelley was on my team. I just want her to be good, so I was fine with it.
I was so confused.
And what does this tell us?
That's just
what is the message behind this? Oh.
Her with the crown of emeralds.
Exactly. Why am I looking at Kelley wearing the crown? I mean, we do like to see it because that is what got her off the block. So congratulations to Kelley. And with that, I will say congratulations to Team Kyle Petty. We are safe. We put in that work. Ashley on the block. Ashley off the block. Kelley on the block. Kelley block busting. Okay, safe. I didn't think that was going to be the case because
I think they're both in trouble.
I think they still have problems. I think Ashley more so than Kelley. I think people might forget that Kelley went up. I
honestly think Kelley might have more problems than Ashley.
Oh, you think so? I think Ashley. I think people are still really miffed about this shower thing.
Well,
I don't think they should be.
But that feels like something that in a week or two will blow over, though.
Yeah, I feel like the shower thing is the thing that's going to blow over. Whereas for some reason we haven't been shown this on camera yet, really. But everyone seems to think that Kelley is constantly puts her foot in her mouth. So,
I mean. Ashley she was my number one pick, so I prefer that version of the story. Yes,
I remembered because we were trying to think about this before, like what did Kelley say, and one of the things that I just remembered now was that Kelley apparently kept going up to people in front of Zach, being like, "Well, Zach won $10,000 already."
Oh yeah.
That was one of the things. Yeah. So it's like, well, if Zach has any influence,
like, shut up.
And that was just one of the things. Apparently, Kelley's gone up to other people, being like, "Oh, are you in a showmance?"
I remember there was one moment where she was like something like our alliance, and I think it was Keanu was like, "You just announced to the backyard that there is an alliance.
Stop telling people
even if you're
joking,
like, don't use the word alliance in front of everybody else."
Okay. All right. Well, sorry to miss Kelley. We're gonna see. I wrote something here. Zay's speech. Oh, so we had, it was obviously Zay and Amy who are our final two on the block. Zay's speech tonight was pretty strong. against the Amy Rachel situation, which drew some scouring looks from Rachel
Oh, she
Riley.
looked like she was going to rip his head clean off his body.
Oh yeah, really wild. And I guess the only other note that I had was, did you hear during the vote, right before we went to commercial break, Julie
Yes, yes,
didn't
yes, yes.
know. She's like, "What is the vote? Is it for? What is it? What is it?"
Literally everyone on Blue Sky was like, "Oh, hot mic, hot mic."
It's like,
Julie,
come
oh no.
on, Arissa would never.
Julie can't count.
I tweeted about this. I was like, we all just heard this, right?
Oh
Julie
my
was
God.
asking
Blue
if the
Sky
vote was 5-1,
buzzing.
and then person said 4-2. Like we
Really
all
bad.
just heard that, right? Right?
So bad, so bad.
Julie, no, not
Julie,
on
girl,
tonight.
stop it, stop. But yeah, so the vote was pretty rough. The vote was rough. As we said before, it was 9-5. You know, to evict or to evoke Zay.
Oof.
Yeah. And
Also, can we not to completely go off the rails, but we didn't talk about this when we were talking about feeds because we didn't know about it until maybe today. But
Okay.
the Zay of it all, because I know Kyle like brought this up
Oh.
earlier, and I just like he used the R word very, very bad on feeds. We all heard him. What concerns me more is that he caught himself saying it, and then he goes, "Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. That's one of the ones I'm trying not to say."
Why is this?
What are the other ones?
Right.
What else were you saying that you're not supposed to say?
I was talking about this at work too, because I was like, it's just a little concerning that there's a list of words that you think that you should not
What
use.
do you
Like
mean by
the
that?
R word and many other words are not even words I would have to make a mental note to not use. Like I'm just a decent person. I wouldn't be using them anyway. So like I would never have to go into a situation like this with a list. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yuck. Really,
Messy,
really
messy,
icky.
messy,
So
messy.
maybe it's better for Zay that he left.
Yeah, he would have gotten himself in trouble big time.
Mm-hmm,
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sir Zay.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, that is a reference to the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Give it a listen. Give it a listen.
Yeah.
Which will be getting a revival next season.
Oh,
really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I would actually
Goodbye,
go,
Zay.
and I'd love to be a speller.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
really
I think that's wonderful.
But goodbye,
right,
Zay. I also want Riley to leave too because he also seems fairly offensive. So.
Well, he just seems icky. What do you call it? Offensive? You think he's offensive?
Icky things offend me. So
yeah. Well, all right. Touche.
My team is just proving to be dumb. we
I
at Team
can't wait to do a deep dive. Yeah.
Rock.
I can't wait to bring up everyone's teams and see what people think. But it is a great time to roll into Julie Judgment. Let's really talk about what our girl has on. And let's dive in. Oh, Julie. What are we wearing this week? Throwback. All right, so it looks like from the audience, the hots have it. People thought this was hot. We saw our girl, our queen. She is not a girl. She is a queen. She is absolute royalty. This is the Julie Chen Moonves sporting it's a white dress with like some green floral patterns going on here. Beautiful earrings hanging low. It looks like she's wearing a cross around her neck. That tracks. That tracks. Love the shoes. So what are you all thinking? Would you say this is hot or not?
I would say hot. I love it.
You would say hot.
Look at her.
Hot
She's
from
glowing.
Hot from jeans. She's glowing, she says. All right. John.
Yeah, this is hot. I gotta be honest.
This is a hot. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay, good.
I find it very hot. She looks hot.
Great. Yeah, I saw a number of texts. People were telling me that they also thought it was hot. I have to officially say that I do dissent. I do not consider
Wow.
this to be hot. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I
Wow.
Yep,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the first eviction night of the season. I thought this ran a little cool for me. This was tepid. I appreciate the
Uh-oh.
non-denim look, all right, because we are tired of seeing a queen. I'm tired of seeing royalty in denim and jeans. This is definitely a tepid for me. I didn't think
Wow.
this was enough.
I gotta
This
say, with
this
the
Damn.
dangling earrings, the bracelets, the heels, the dress, I thought this
mhm.
would be a chore for you.
I thought it was beautiful. I mean, I liked it to an extent. I would have appreciated this more. This feels like a week 3 eviction outfit for me. This didn't
Wow.
feel like the way that we're kicking off summer. It missed the
Yeah.
mark for me. Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry. I'm
tough.
sorry,
That's tough.
Julie. This is definitely a tepid from me. I'd love to know the one person who voted tepid. I'd love to know what your thoughts were. Yeah, this missed the mark, but only slightly. But only slightly.
Wow.
Um,
I'm shocked.
But it looks like, but either way, the Hots have it. The Hots have it.
Mhm,
That's
mhm,
it's
mhm, mhm.
7-2. It's 7-2, 7 for hot, 2 for tepid. But no one thinks this was a full blown miss. All right, so good for you, Miss Julie Chen. Not bad, not bad. Okay, we'll give it to all the more reason now to go into our teams. How are we feeling? Going now,
Oh
week
no.
2. We'll go in alphabetical order. We've got Gina. Yes.
Well, we've already discussed Jimmy. We all know how
Mhm.
we feel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need him to be a lot better than this.
Yeah.
um, Catherine, I feel like I haven't seen enough to have a real opinion on.
Mhm.
Like the
Agreed.
only real segments that we got from her were like Riley Beige isn't really necessarily on her, and we saw her like commenting on the shower thing, but like not enough for me to like feel any kind of way about her yet.
Mm. Okay, fair.
Vince
Vince, after his
has to be better.
HOH week.
He needs to be better than this. I need him to not do this.
Yeah.
I'm
He'll,
also
Vince
like
will be fine though. He'll be fine.
I don't know. I'm anticipating a crash out this week, knowing that he doesn't have power anymore, and now that he is like potentially a
He's not.
person who
He's
could be on
not
the
a
block.
strong enough. He's not a strong enough personality though. I feel like there's other people in the house that are gonna like take over, and he doesn't have power anymore. He can't be the HOH. Like Vince, I think is gonna like
Sure,
fade into
but
the background this week.
I don't know.
Mm.
I feel like he's kind of been like floundering a little bit, so I do feel like he could be the kind of person to put a target on himself by crashing out.
There's too many other names out. I don't think he's gonna crash out though. There's too many other names out there that have already been brought up. That Vince is. He's not gonna be one of the ones that's like, I'm crashing out right now. It's gonna be Jimmy or Keanu, or somebody like that. It's not gonna be Vince. Like
Yeah, I hear that. I think Vince's only problem really could be Ashley, because Ashley was pretty vocal about like, no, if I win HOH, I'm putting you up. But I don't really think I think
Well,
Vince
it
has
also
done a decent enough job of kind of keeping the peace with most other people.
it
yeah, I
depends
think so
on
too.
if the Jimmy and Keanu thing like has legs or not, because that
But if that
can
has
be
legs,
traced
I
back to
don't.
him.
Yeah, but if that has legs, it's
Mm.
not going to be Vince that takes the brunt of that.
It could because I know Keanu was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to clear the air now," because the whole reason that Jimmy's name was in his mouth at all was based on something that Vince had told him. So
Yeah,
depending on the
but
ways
Vince
in
was
which
the,
that conversation happened and continues to happen, there is a world in which Vince kind of becomes the common denominator. I don't know that it
but
necessarily will.
Vince was still just the middleman for that though. Like he wasn't
Mm.
like nope, he was never the driving force. Like even Keanu was like, "Oh, you're saying this," and Vince was like, "All right, that's definitely Jimmy starting this," and Keanu was like, "Oh, you're right." Like I feel like Vince has always been thought of as just like the middleman. Like I don't think that Vince is gonna like blood on his hands for that.
think I agree with John. I think Vince is a little bit safer than you think. You
Yeah.
gotta have faith in your team, Jeans. You gotta have faith in your team. I think Jimmy's your biggest problem.
Oh,
Um,
Jimmy's definitely my biggest problem.
yeah, and to compare and contrast, I actually would maybe argue that even Zach is a little bit more injured than even Vince,
Yeah,
just
I agree.
because Zach going
More than
into that whole. Yeah, only because he's falling into that whole bro category that people seem to want to break up, and it
Yeah,
depends
Zach
on
has
how
had
many other
has a
people found out about this whole Burger Boys thing,
yeah.
So
I
Zach,
think it was
Zach's
a
had
little crazy. Zach was like fully sobbing when
I
Zay
was
got
just
evicted
about to
tonight. I
mention
was
that the
like,
fact
what
that he
the
was
hell are we
crying
doing?
because Zay went out and he was like, "Oh, this is my brother," and it's like you need to stop this.
You've
I was like,
known him
Yeah.
for
people
a
pay
week.
attention to those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think actually Zach is in a worse position than I wouldn't say like he's in like super danger, but
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Vince is in a better
No,
position than he's credit
I'm
for.
definitely side eyeing Zach a little bit too.
Yeah,
Like
I think
he's
I
got to be more
think
careful.
on this particular team, I think that Catherine, Vince, and Lauren are actually looking pretty good. I
Lauren,
think
I
yeah,
have no
Jimmy,
qualms with. I think
Jimmy, yeah,
Lauren's looking
yeah.
great right
Lauren's
now.
fine. She's fine.
Jim,
She's flying
Jimmy
under
and
the radar.
Jimmy and Zach though, I could see both of them going next 2 weeks potentially, if not someone someone on my team. So I've got problems too.
Yeah, you do have problems. Let's get into it. Because you did take the first hit of the season. It was your second draft choice. Big X over his face. But Morgan, she was your number one. I think she's doing
Yep.
pretty good. You still like her?
Morgan's good. I'm very happy with Morgan. Still very happy with Mickey. Still
Mhm.
very happy
Morgan,
with Will.
I will say Morgan on feeds has been a little erratic this week. There's been a lot of crying, a lot of crash outs, like a lot of stuff that
Oh,
didn't make
really?
sense, but there's been a lot of like
What
Morgan.
is she crying about? What's her problem?
I it's like again I'm only like kind of tuned into what's happening in the feed, so I can't give you like a full comprehensive answer to that, but I definitely
Sure.
have heard that like the social aspect of the game is kind of taking a hit for her. I know like she is by career a gamer and she's good with strategy and she's good with like thinking in terms of game, but not so
Mhm.
much in terms of like social cultivating those social um connections.
Connections.
And especially because like the person that she has really like clung to has been Jimmy, who is also very erratic. So she's been kind of all over the place this week from what I'm hearing.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I've not been tuned in. I have meant on that.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate
I
to
mean,
hear.
for
Um,
everything that I've seen is that people still really like Morgan. I feel like the tide is turning on Jimmy, and I feel like a lot of people that have been working with him, including Rachel, are like already distancing themselves from her.
No,
From him.
Jimmy is the biggest problem for sure right
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like Morgan like is just like everybody else that's been working with Jimmy is distancing themselves from Jimmy. And I see no problems with Mickey or Will. Riley,
Mickey, I think,
though,
is your best right now. Mickey's looking good.
well, Mickey's definitely looking good, but I also feel like Will is also. I haven't seen anything negative about Will. Um, everything that I see about Morgan is that like she's been working with a lot of people in the house and is in a very good position, and will just drop whoever is not working for her, which is Jimmy.
Mhm. I think the only problem with Bill is that he's finding himself. I think he would be doing better to maybe align himself. I'm not saying they would take him, but like the mom squad, I think you need to. I think you need to go a little older because you are older. Like aligning yourself with the Burger Boys and some of the younger groups, they're going to see you as expendable
Yeah.
before they see the rest of them. So that's my early concern. But again, it's only week one. But like, I don't think you have the same level of agency in their mind.
Well,
Like to the younger people.
that's the thing is that from what I've seen, Will has already said that like two of his closest allies are Morgan and Mickey, who are not in the Burger Boys. So like
Okay, that helps.
he's already working with the other side.
Right.
Um,
Okay. All
but
right.
but I
That's
but I feel
encouraging.
like
Sure.
yeah, but I feel like Riley is done. I
Oh,
have no
done.
interest.
I would say he's done. I mean,
I
maybe
have
one.
no
I'm like,
interest in
is he
having him
done?
on my team anymore. I think he's
Well,
gone soon.
Damn.
I think there are enough strong women in the house that they're going to be like, Riley is a piece of shit, and he'll be out in the next few weeks.
I think it's possible, but I think, you might want to. He seems very, very driven by this Catherine thing and all this. And that could be something that they milk a little bit long. And it's like, let's get out the people who we know we don't have in our corner, because Riley seems a little bit more pliable. You don't think that could work maybe in his favor, because Catherine can have some heavy influence over him that could give him a little bit more worth?
It could. I just want him to go.
Yeah, you just hate him. You just hate him. Oh man, sorry.
He's a creep.
Your team lead is not feeling you. Team lead's not feeling you. Sorry, Riley.
Bye, Riley.
So my team, I got problems too. I still don't think that people are properly over the shower thing, especially because we got 2 blasts of showering offenses under the title of Ashley. But we'll see because she did win some things, so maybe that can intimidate people a little bit. Ava, I'm digging Ava. I think she's fantastic. Yeah. She seems to understand like some of the mechanics of the game. And maybe how she can work some things. I still think she maybe played the Jimmy and Keanu card a little too soon. She might have been able to hold on to that a little bit longer, but we'll see. Because even if none of them go, if she started a fire there, then maybe it's probably you ride that out for a couple of weeks. So maybe. Keanu, I'm still digging him too. I like that Rachel seems to like him and kind of wants to work with him and protect him. He seems to be making some other good connections in the group. So Keanu still feels pretty good to me.
Keanu's biggest thing from what I'm seeing is going to be his adaptability, because I feel like he kind of gets a plan in his head based on the people that he's talking to and what he's seeing. And he's like, all right, here's what's going to go down. And then he gets a little bit of information that's like a little different than what he's thinking. And he's like, hold on. I got to figure out how I'm going to like factor this into like what I've already decided. And like, he's not great at kind of like being on the fly. So either he needs to like learn to work with it a little, or he's going to have problems because he's not great at like taking in new information, being like, all right, well now we'll just pivot. Like, it's very much like, but this is my plan. And that's something else. So now what? It's like, my guy.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
So that worries me a little bit with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully he'll be a little bit quicker on the uptake. Maybe once we really get into this. I mean, he is
right. Like, it's literally week 1. Right. There's so much time to learn how to like navigate better.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I think those are good points. Kelley's got problem. Again, for all the reasons we mentioned before. A little bit too eager. She seems to not be offended that she was put on the block, so she will always feel like the safe person, especially in a game where we're having 3 people on the block at this time. If I constantly have to come up with a 3rd, it's very easy option.
Could either of you ever imagine being in the Big Brother house on premiere night and then telling the HOH, you can put me up if you want? Could you ever imagine?
On literal night 1. Never in a million years.
Absolutely not. I would never do it. Because we watched the show, and like that, it really does speak to the fact that Kelley doesn't fully understand like what's going on here. Because we've seen too many times people who go up first stay up, and people understand that. So like that just tells you're not super familiar with the mechanics of the game. So that's concerning. Adrian, I still don't love the guy, but he doesn't seem to be annoying anyone. Like I was a little endeared towards him with that whole laundry thing.
Oh my god!
All of a sudden, like we don't know how to do laundry because we have to do it's a side load instead of top load, and but he did make me laugh when like the dryer kept beeping at him. And he's like walking away. He's like, I don't know what you want me to do, bro. I don't know what you want from me.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so he is like he actually is like kind of funny, but like.
Also, What is this SAT word he came out with in the diary room today? Julie, you're looking whatever the hell that word was. I was like, do I need to get out a
I
dictionary
missed
right
it.
now? I don't know what the hell this word is.
Oh, now I wish I knew what it was. Oh, we're gonna have to
It
go
was,
back. I
oh
have to
God.
go
I know. I'm
back.
like,
I wish I
can I
knew.
look on Blue Sky right now and find it?
Damn. It's just so funny to me to hear like Blue Sky in one of these conversations. Like, I understand why you're there. Like,
Not
I
a Twitter
certainly get it. It's like,
girly.
and it's like, but we never would like. Oh my gosh, let's look at Blue Sky. Like, it just doesn't even like roll right. Um, but yeah, I don't know what he said, but yeah, I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I'm kind of liking him in week one.
He's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
think he's
yeah.
kind of good.
Like I said, Adrian was the annoying preseason person that I thought I would hate, and then Jimmy has been the one. Adrian
Yeah.
actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy is definitely my top one that I want to go.
Very unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very unfortunate.
Adrian not knowing how to use a washing machine is bad too, but nowhere near as bad as what Jimmy's been doing.
No, that's endearing. That actually kind of speaks to me. You know, I'm a caretaker. I like to
Yeah,
be
I'm
and
good.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like I would
watching
take care
that.
of them, the poor
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah. I laughed. I laughed at that segment. You know.
yeah, yeah. It actually made me a little endeared towards him, believe it or not. Did you find it, Jeans?
Not yet.
Oh, all right. So I guess we'll let you all know. What time are we live on Monday? Anybody have things going on? I'd like for it to be earlier. I'm gunning for 8 or 8:30.
I'm
Hell
free.
All right,
yeah.
I'm 40 and a
I can
half
do
now.
that.
I'm trying to go to bed.
I can do
40
that.
and a half being a through line is so good.
So true, though. I'm
I can
exhausted
do
over
that.
here. Yeah. All right. How about 8:30? Does 8:30 sound good?
I could be on
I can
board
do
with
that.
8:30.
Because I can definitely see a world in, if we end up covering the challenge, which I think we may just stumble into, because our girl Tay is on there from BBAU.
I know.
Right. I forgot about that.
Right, because maybe the challenge could 30 and then we move Big Brother to 9:30 at that stage. We'll see how that goes. Make sure that this challenge is contained.
The Boho Barbie.
We'll all let you know. But for the time being, we'll be back with you Monday at 8:30 Pum. To discuss
8:30.
to discuss Sunday night's episode as well as the results from the Monday veto competition and ceremony. We'll be discussing that as well. We always announce spoilers are coming, so if you are a just casual viewer, we will make sure we protect the integrity of your information. But if nothing else, to the benefit of the community, I think we're out of here. Does anybody have anything else that we'd like to add?
I was really hoping I would have found this word by now. Unfortunately, I cannot find it. So
Shouldn't find it. Gives you all the more.
I'm scrolling. I'm trying.
All the more reason to find us at Strat Chat Pod on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, and all the other social media outlets where you like to consume your content. Again, back Monday at 8:30, and then next Thursday at 9:15 ish. Discuss our second eviction. So thanks for hanging out tonight. That's it. Love one another.